started out studying theology, became a youth pastor, and was trying to figure out a way to support a big family with 5 children. So decided to get into aviation. What else? That's great. And got into aircraft sales. And in the past 2 years, he has sold over 40 private aircraft. And in the meantime, he's also become a private pilot. He got his private pilot license, has 100 hours, and owns a 172. So today he will share with you how he found success in aviation despite little or no background in aviation. Tom, welcome.
Up here with a little bit of imposter syndrome going on. I'm not a fighter pilot, you know? I'm not the CEO of one of the largest jet brokerages in the entire world. I don't have 7 kids, I only have 5. But I do have 2 golden doodles, so I'm basically just like Emily. And, you know, I wasn't in the military like Chris was in the FAA, and now, you know, one of the leaders of MBAA. So I'm sitting up here like, what am I doing on this stage today? And I hope that I can deliver some value to you, because I've had a long journey from being a youth pastor into selling multi-million-dollar jets, and it's been an interesting journey for me that I'm going to share with you, and a few tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Growing up, I've had a lot of different jobs. I started off as a lifeguard at a local pool. I thought it'd be a good place to pick up some ladies. I was a pizza delivery guy. I remember one time leaving the delivery truck on overnight, and I got a call in the morning from my boss. Luckily, I wasn't fired, but he was pissed. And I also have played music at church with my girlfriend at the time. Maybe you're seeing a little bit of a theme going on here. In college, I sold knives with Vector Marketing and Sales. Cutco knives, give a shout out. That's how I afforded my very first iPod. I'm not that old. It was a color iPod, but it did have a wheel on it. I went to school for theology. I wanted to be a youth pastor. And so I was very excited coming out of college as getting a job as a youth pastor. But of course, as you probably know, working for the church doesn't always pay the bills. I had a lot of side hustles as well. Videography was one of my passions. I was a personal trainer at a local YMCA, and I dabbled, like most young adults do, in network marketing. So if you're looking for a job you can do from home with little or no experience on social media, give me a call. I'll be happy to set you up on my team for some network marketing. So I've had a lot of jobs over the years, but in March of 2020, I was offered a position to sell private jets. At the time, I was the manager of a music school, and they were willing to take a chance on a guy with no experience. As I mentioned, I was a former youth pastor. I had a family of 5 kids. I had a little bit of savings saved up, but I had some soft skills from all of my experience. Lifeguarding, selling knives, youth pastor, etc. So I accepted the job. I put my 2 weeks notice in at the music school where I was a manager. That was March of 2020. Can anyone guess what happened after I quit my job? COVID, pandemic, the world shut down, and I got a call from my agency that I was going to start working at saying, "Hey Tom, we can't hire you right now. The world is shut down. You're going to have to wait." Okay. I ended up working out of my mom's condo for 60 days, selling fruits and vegetables in a capsule to friends and family to pay the bills for that month. But thankfully, the world started to open up a little bit, and I began working at that agency, and it started a whole new chapter in my life. When it comes to finding your career, you're going to have all different kinds of seasons. Many of you are probably really excited right now because you have your whole future in front of you, just the way I felt when I graduated college and was going to be a youth minister. Some of you recently may have just made a choice to change careers or change your path, and so maybe you're a little unsure, like I was when I decided to stop being a youth pastor and go into the business world. And a few of you may have just been rejected from your future, and now you're worried and concerned, like how I felt when COVID hit and I didn't have a job for a little while. But despite all that, I believe that when it comes to finding success in your career, always bet on yourself. And I didn't plan this with any of the other speakers, but I feel like that's one of the main themes that everyone's talking about today, is to bet on yourself, to be confident in yourself, to take your future into your own hands, because nobody will care more about your situation than yourself. When you take responsibility for your life and its direction, instead of relying on others or blaming others, that's when you will find success. And so over the past 2 years, as Lou mentioned, I sold over 40 private jets at my agency. And now I want to share with you the lessons that I learned and wish that I knew when I was starting out. And so the next few minutes, I'm going to share 3 commitments that you need to make in order to be successful, no matter what your career path will be. Number 1, be committed to your ongoing learning. Emily kind of talked about that earlier, and so did Michelle. Be committed to meeting new people and new experiences. I swear I did not share this with Emily. She's just taking all my talking points earlier today. And number 3, be committed to repetition. Repetition. See what I did there? Like a dad joke, all right? But by committing to these 3 things, you will make sure that you stay in control of your future by always betting on yourself. So the first thing we're talking about is be committed to ongoing learning. And I know that font's a little light, but it says, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. This is, like I said, my son plays competitive soccer. This is a sign over the gym, over the squat rack, and I love it because my superpower is learning, taking in information. I'm not a bookworm. Now, that's my wife. I love her, but she's the one who has to go to the library, study for hours, and that's how she soaks in information. I'm not that kind of a learner. I mean, taking in, processing information that helps me improve myself. Did you ever study for a test that you just couldn't figure things out? You couldn't make it click? Probably because you thought to yourself, how does this apply to my life? How does this make me better? But it was when you got into a course, when you got into a study that you're like, oh, this is going to change my life, then you were able to process the information. That's one of my superpowers. Okay? So, I love to learn. If you grow this muscle, this habit of always learning, you will reach your full potential as an individual. And so I want to share a few things that you can work on right now to become that kind of a learner. Learn your trade, but also learn other skills. So some of you are in school right now, you're going to become a pilot, you're going to become an engineer, you're going to become an operator, whatever it is. Learn your trade, but also learn other skills that are going to help you become a well-rounded person. And I would say there's 2 aspects that you should probably look at. Learn how to do sales, marketing, and communication. That soft skill will serve you no matter what. And that's kind of where the Cutco knives came in. And learn about your own spirituality / worldview. And what I mean by that is you should build your character. When it comes to business aviation, what I learned is that there's a lot of freedom in business aviation for you to conduct yourself however you want to conduct yourself. There's not always someone looking over your shoulder, especially when it comes to jet sales. And so who you are is really important, and knowing who you are as a character and a person is extremely important. So if you're going to learn your trade, I also want to encourage you to learn other skills beyond your trade that are going to make you more well-rounded. What this looked like for me was my first year as a salesperson, I invested 40% of my paycheck into sales training. I went to seminars, I went to online courses, I paid for mentorships, I paid to get in front of people that were better than me. And I was able to double my paycheck from year 1 to year 2. And so what did I do that next year? I did the same thing. I put almost half my paycheck back into myself so that I could grow my paycheck, double it again the following year. I know a lot of people, especially when you're younger, you're looking at how do I invest? Is it crypto? Is it stocks? Is it real estate? The first thing you need to do before any of that is investing in yourself. Don't be afraid to spend $100, $1,000, $10,000 on yourself to make you a better person, both professionally and personally. Number 2, learn on the job, but don't use your customers as practice. This is very tempting. So when I first started, my first day of being a jet broker, I had 3 days of training to learn how the jets work, why people sell their jets, and basic conversations. They gave me a script. I didn't really practice with it, and that was a mistake. And so I remember getting on the phones that first couple of days, and my manager said something to me that I didn't think made any sense, and I still don't. He said to me, "Tom, when you talk to somebody, don't talk about the jet. You want me to call somebody, and my ultimate goal is to get them to let me sell their jet, and you're telling me, don't talk about the jet." Didn't make any sense to me. So I started making my phone calls. Hello, hello, mostly voicemails. I had 20 voicemails in a row until call number 21. I was expecting a voicemail. I just ring, ring, ring. Hello? Somebody answered the phone. I didn't know what to do. "Hi, Mr. Smith, this is Tom with ABC Jets. What do you want? Do you want to sell your jet?" "Nope." Click. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, that was the first conversation I had as a jet broker. I quit my job. I have a little bit of savings. I am absolutely not cut out for this, because the one thing they told me to do, I failed at, and he just hung up on me. The problem was, I was learning on the job, but I was expecting my customers to be practice, and that was a mistake. I should have prepared myself for when somebody actually answered the phone. And that kind of leads me into the second piece. Learn from your failures and anticipate the roadblocks that are coming ahead so that you can train past them. Now when I call somebody, I don't say, "Hey, Mr. Smith, this is Tom, how you doing?" I say, "Hello, Bob, Tom with Jet Life Aero, good morning." What do you think they're going to say? "Good morning." I'm controlling the conversation now. Now, sometimes they'll say, "I'm good," so now I know I don't have their attention. But if they say good morning, I know we're on the same page. The reason for the call, Bob, is because I wanted to know if you're looking to upgrade your CJ this year. If I found you a retail buyer and can get you a replacement, is that something you'd be interested in? Now there's only 3 options for him to say. Yes, tell me more. Nope, hang up. Or no, I'm not interested, but he doesn't hang up. And so now that I've practiced on my own, I've controlled the conversation, I can now take control of that conversation and open it up. And that is the difference between being an amateur and being a professional. Not because of any great skill that I have, but over a skill that I've developed over time, and you can too. When I was in high school, I grew up in northern New Jersey, go New York Giants, okay? I was on the varsity soccer team, and we were playing the #1 team in the state, undefeated for the past 3 years. And I remember being in the locker room and my coach saying to me, "Gentlemen, we're facing the toughest competition all season. What I want you to do is I want you to control the controllables. Control what you can control." And so we had a very specific strategy. Everybody get back, stand in front of the goal, make sure that they don't score on us, and hopefully something happens later on. Well, that's exactly what we did. Our forward got into the box at one point. He took a dive, not gonna lie. He took a dive, we got a penalty kick, we scored, we won, broke the streak, but we controlled the controllables. When I was at my agency, I saw a lot of people fail. And some were people that had more experience than me. Some were individuals that were better skilled than I was. They had better storytelling, they had better connections. I couldn't control their outcome, but I could control my output. I bet on myself. I had hard work, I stayed late, I hit my targets, I hit my goals, and you all can do the same. When you're starting out in your career, you have a rare opportunity to learn from your experience. So I want to tell you to work hard, train your weaknesses, and learn as much as you can. So that's commitment number one, be committed to learning. Commitment number two, be committed to meeting new people and having new experiences. I like this quote, best known beats best. Emily said earlier, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I'm going to challenge you. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. Are you making yourself known? Best known beats best. I love my iPhone. Some people may disagree. You might be Android people. You might say the Android has a better camera. It's got better compatibility. I like my iPhone. It's known. It's comfortable. That's what I prefer. If you think about it, a lot of the products and services that we all use every single day, they're not the best. Everyone knows McDonald's doesn't have the best hamburger in the world, but they sell more than anyone else. By the way, Wendy's is the best hamburger. Everyone knows that it's the best known that beats the best every single day. So why this is important is because if people don't know you, they can't do business with you. I love working with first-time jet buyers. So that means I need to go to where the first-time jet buyers are, and I need to speak their language. If you're a pilot, you have to go where the operators are and make yourself known. And so the question you need to be asking yourself is, who's got my future? Your future is in the hands of somebody else, and you have to take responsibility to get in front of those people. Who's got your future? It rests in the hands of someone that can hire you, someone who can pay you, or someone who knows someone. This is the internship, the mentorship that Emily was talking about. Your future relies on other people. So go make yourself known with them. And here are 3 concrete steps to make yourself known. It's a little similar to what Emily had, but here's what we're going to do. Number 1, set up your digital presence. It might be a LinkedIn. It might be a website. It might be an Instagram. For me, it's mostly YouTube. That's where I want people to go if they want to know how to find me. If you're on your phone right now, go to Google, type in your name. What pops up? Are you comfortable with that? Because when you send your resume, guess what your employer's going to do? They're going to Google you. And you better be comfortable with what pops up. So you decide where you want to send people. If it's LinkedIn, great. If it's a website, great. Whatever it might be, build out your presence. Number 2, add your voice to the conversation. This is Michelle. This is Mace. I reached out to her last week when I found out I was going to be speaking with her. She posted a headshot of her. Did anybody see that? She posted a headshot of her that was generated by AI. So she uploaded a few photos of herself and the computer spit out a headshot of her. You can't see this one. So I contributed to the conversation saying, hey, I'm not too worried about deep fakes anytime soon. This was fun, though. If you can see it, you can come up later. It is the cheesiest, most ugly face you could ever see, like me, that was generated by AI. And so add your voice to the conversation. If you want to be known, set yourself up and add your voice to the conversation that's already going on. What I noticed after about being in jet sales for about a year, I kept getting the same questions over and over. Hey, how does a phase 1 through 4 inspection work? You know, what's the fuel burn on a Citation 500, et cetera, et cetera. So I started to create videos and content that I could send buyers to educate them quickly, because when you want to learn something, you want to just devour information. And so I started the conversation myself. As you learn and engage in the conversations, ask yourself, who are the people that you're trying to get in front of? And what problem can you solve for them? it was really interesting when I started the Ultimate Jet Guide, used to be called Jet Life with Tom. It was a personal brand that would be an extension of my career. And as a result of starting the conversation, I was able to develop my craft. By teaching others, I began to become more and more knowledgeable myself. I built a library of content to be seen as authoritative. I was providing transparency to the people that I wanted to work with me. And it was an opportunity for me to work while I was sleeping. I pulled the stats, and last week I had over 100 hours of watch time on my YouTube channel. And while that's nothing compared to Mr. Beast, you know, or Dude Perfect, 100 hours of watch time means I was able to double my weekly output to sell jets while I was sleeping. This year alone, I've had 2 clients sign a contract with me that are potential 6-figure contracts because they saw my YouTube channel. I still have to deliver on those agreements, so no guarantees that it's going to come through, but we have signed contracts because of starting the conversation, because I was committed to meeting new people via this digital continent. So let me be clear, this takes a lot of work, but it's all work that you can do on the side, and it will help you become a better and better individual. Frequency before greatness. Be committed to repetition. Repetition. You've heard the story probably of Thomas Edison, you know, that he was creating the light bulb, and when he finally created the light bulb, a reporter came up to him and said, "Hey, congratulations, I heard you failed 10,000 times creating the light bulb." He said, "I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb." When it comes to a career in aviation, you just have to jump in. It's kind of been the main theme of today. There will be a bunch of stuff that you don't know. Industry knowledge that you don't know about, procedures that you don't know about, people that you should be talking to that you're not talking to, people that you shouldn't be talking to that you might be talking to. You're going to make mistakes, but don't let that stop you. It's in and through the repetition that you grow. Frequency comes before greatness. That is a fact. If you're looking for greatness, we need the frequency and the repetition first. So here are a few tasks that you can do, repetition, that will help you grow. Number 1, learn more. Well, what are you going to learn? Learn sales, learn marketing, learn industry knowledge, world news, technology. And if you don't know where to find this stuff, ask. Ask someone around. How do I find out the industry news? How do I find out industry news? I didn't know for 3 years until I started getting involved with MBAA, until I started getting involved with LinkedIn. A lot of the news that I find now is via LinkedIn because there's other people that are posting the news. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that Oscar the Grouch was the new spokesperson for Spirit Airlines trash and sustainability. Thank you, LinkedIn. So learn about the industry, learn your knowledge. I believe that the reason I was even able to get into private aviation was because of these soft skills. I didn't come in as a pilot. I didn't come in as a mechanic. I didn't come in as a professional salesperson. I came in as somebody that had dabbled in sales, dabbled in marketing. I could speak well. I liked technology, and they took a chance on me. The other task you can do, connect with others, grow your network. Look for new customers, current and past customers, other professionals. That means calling people, texting them, emailing them. Connect with other people. I like to connect with people through video. That's why I do YouTube. I can present myself, I can put it out there, people can find me. And lastly, make content. So this is being committed to the repetition, being committed to the frequency. Be committed to making content. Evergreen content, frequently asked questions that you get all the time. Tutorials, industry news. Be committed to creating the content, and know this. Chances are no one's going to see it at first. Mr. Beast will tell you, if you want to be a YouTuber, the first 100 videos you're going to do, no one's going to see it. Grant Cardone, he does like huge 10x marketing. He says, assume nobody sees it. Just make the content, because in doing so, you're going to learn, you're going to become better, and it's going to help you overall become a more well-rounded individual by making these contents. And you're going to, if you do interviews, you're going to have an opportunity to work with other people and network like we're talking about. Imagine doing all these things, even if you just do a little bit. If you did all of these things and you committed to this frequency before greatness, you would be in the top 10% of aviation professionals in the industry right now. Because I will tell you, it's that old 80-20 rule. 80% of people, just kind of status quo. 10% of people, they're declining, they're getting smaller. And there's a top 10% of people who are always growing. If you are committed to the repetition and growing 1% better each and every day, just a little bit better, you will become the top 10% of your industry. And if that's what you're looking for, this is exactly how you do it. We're heading into what a lot of people call a recession. This is your window of opportunity. A lot of people are going to just hunker down and try to ride it out. Some people are going to quit because they rode the last 2 years of success when it was easy, and they don't know what to do when things get hard. And some of you, or some people, are going to take advantage of this opportunity, and they're going to grow, and they're going to knock it out of the park. And so I want to encourage you to, you can check out my website, because a lot of people will ask me, Tom, can you help me in my journey? And Emily talked about it earlier, about finding a mentor. And yes, that's exactly what I do, and I'd love to schedule a call with you if you go to theultimatejetguide.com/CFBAA. That's exactly what I would love to connect with you on. It's a free call. Just give me a buzz or find me on the social media. It's all on that website. And I remember when I first started, I wanted a mentor. So I went to my oldest mentor of my entire life when I first started in business aviation, Mr. Google. And what I found is there was not a lot out there when it comes to private aviation. You might have found the same. If you look for a pilot mentor or a mechanic mentor or how to be a jet broker mentor, like, it doesn't exist. Even Emily said they don't even post that stuff on their website. Well, here's your opportunity. If you want to connect with someone, and it's not just about connecting with me, but I also connect individuals with other people. Like Emily said, we love leveraging our network to help other people out. 2 weeks ago, a girl called me. She's like, "Hey, I've been watching your YouTube videos. I don't know if you're into this or not, but like, I have a couple questions about how to get involved in aviation. I've been sending out, resumes, and no one's getting back to me." Sure, we talked on the phone for an hour, and after that, I found out kind of what she was looking for. I was able to put her in touch with a colleague, actually at Jet Aviva, who put her in contact with their internship department, and now they're going back and forth, and they're trying to find an internship for her. So that's the kind of thing that I'm very passionate about, is encouraging the next generation. And if you want to get a hold of me for that, that is the best website for you to go to. So I want to leave you with this. I've had a lot of jobs in my life. And I will tell you, where I'm at right now is I spent the last couple of years really building up my business. And all these skills and everything that I learned, I want to share it with you. Not because if you do it, you'll find success and that's it, but because these are skills that you're going to come back to. What I have learned is that life is about seasons. Life is about cycles. And so I'm starting a new cycle myself. In November, I left my agency, and I'm starting out on my own again. I have to go back to all of this. I have to go back to being committed to learning. I have to go back to being committed to networking with people. I have to go back to be committed to reaching out to people and to growing. And so you're going to go through different cycles in your career. You're going to be in a cycle where it's all, all negative and things are really hard. And I want to tell you, stay committed. You're going to go through cycles where it's kind of stable, status quo, not much going on. Stay committed. And you're going to be in cycles that are really exciting, and you can't wait to wake up the next day and go to work. Stay committed. If you want to find success, Beyond aviation, just in life, stay committed and bet on yourself. This is why I'm betting on myself. This is my family. This is my why. And the only reason you're going to be able to stay committed, and the only reason you're going to be able to bet on yourself and take responsibility and take control of your future is if you have a why like this. My why is providing for my 5 kids, and this is a story of where we got a chance to charter a private jet for a family vacation. How cool is that? We flew a private jet for a family vacation there and back. Now that I'm starting out on my own, I'm like, I'm never going to be able to do that again. But that's my why. That's why I'm staying committed, and I'm betting on myself, and I want to encourage you to do the same. Thank you.